Hey, welcome back to my channel, Phenomenal Reach. My name is Jeremy York, and today I am going to talk about Grady Hendrix, how to sell a haunted house. Now, let me tell you, the cover sold me completely. I bought this thing without even knowing anything about Grady Hendrix. Um, Reading it, on the other hand, it was kind of odd. It seemed to me like Grady was trying too hard for this story. It's like he was intentionally trying to do weird things into this thing. So it wasn't what I was expecting. Um, some of the characters, particularly the brother, I think he tried to make him as annoying as all get out, which which believe me, I can understand how some siblings would be able to relate to that. But to me, it just seemed like it was a little over the top. Um, it was. This was not a bad book. Do not get me wrong there. This is not a bad book, but I'm not going to say it was a great book. It's a good story. It's a good book. It's just I think Grady could kind of lighten up a little bit. It's I don't know. There is such a thing as trying too hard, and this is not the first novel that I've read where the writer is trying too hard. But this is the only Grady Hendrix book I have read. So there are some out there that do try too hard, and it's so clear to see it. Um, but I am planning on reading another one of his soon. Just to see if maybe the way that he wrote this book was specifically for this book, or that's just how he writes. I really don't know, but I am looking forward to reading one of the other ones because I am curious about him. Because it seemed like some people were trying to say that he was like the next Stephen King. Just based on this book, I don't see it. Um, but that said, I would like to see this turned into a movie. I would like that because it was just so odd. The premise was so odd. At 400 and some pages, you don't see or you don't actually get introduced to the supernatural beings in this book until around page 200. And that's not to say that this is a slow burner, because there are a lot of things happening even in that first half of the page, the first half of the book. But the true supernatural stuff started happening in the second half of the book, which that was when I really got into it. And at the same time, the dynamic between the brother and sister changed. I don't know if that was intentional or what, but the dynamic, the relationship, the chemistry between the two main characters, the brother and sister, really flipped. So that kind of threw me off guard there. But still, I thought it was a decent book. The cover, like I said, the cover sold me, and I got it immediately. Um, because I love haunted houses. I love haunted house stories, movies, and I was really looking forward to this, but this was a little bit of a letdown, but not much. Again, this was my introduction to Grady Hendrix. I have not read another one of his books yet. I will. In fact, I do have another one in my collection back there that I will be getting to at some point. I don't know if it's going to be this year, or I might read it next year, but I will get to it at some point. But either way, I'm going to say How to Sell a Haunted House by Grady Hendrix. I am going to give this a soft recommendation because I'm pretty sure that his style of writing is not something that's for everybody, if that makes sense. It took me quite a while to get used to it. But once I did, I was kind of into the story. I was invested, but I did not like that it took me so long. Why it took me so long, I don't know if that's because of him or if that was because of me, because I don't even remember what I was reading before I read this one. But sometimes I have noticed when you go from one author to another one, it there is a little bit of a shock there if there is a drastic difference in the style of writing, and that has happened to me numerous times. So, and you know, that might have been the reason why I didn't really get into this, but I will still give this thing a soft recommendation. Not one where I would say go out of your way, but if you do end up getting this book, give it a try. You might like it. Just remember, you're not going to find supernatural stuff until halfway through this book, and then this thing really gets going. So, yeah. Grady Hendrix, How to Sell a Haunted House.